lot under the guise of I have an angel image, and I imagine it to be frustrating for a man. I'm not even just talking about them. They're young, so we're going to apply the young card. But there are a lot of people out there hiding behind just this.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Please like the video and subscribe. Our target is only 1,000 likes. So in an official statement shared on his Instagram stories in the early hours of Friday, DDG announced that Halle Bailey and he have decided to go their separate ways after 3 years of relationship. It read, "Dear friends and supporters, after much reflection and heartfelt conversations, Halle and I have decided to go our separate ways. The decision was not easy, but we believe it's the best path forward for both of us." He continued, "I cherish the time we've spent together and the love we shared. Despite the changes in our relationship, our love for each other remains deep and true. We are still best friends and adore each other." Then said, "As we focus on our individual journeys and roles as co-parents, we cherished the bond we've built and beautiful moments we've shared. As we navigate this transition, we ask for your understanding and support."
Break, we struggled with the facts.
Because it's such a long timeline.
So we brought in none other than,
we just don't do facts here.
Yeah, that ain't our bag.
We're bad at facts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that.
That's it.
I really should make a hire for that, but it's sad that we're that.
Like,
I deal in feelings. Fuck facts, man. I want to get to how I feel about things. All right? Sure. Anyway, to help us along with facts, none other than Jeremy Hecht is in the building.
Let's go.
Jeremy Hecht, my second or third favorite white boy in the content space. Jeremy, how you feeling?
I feel good to be top 3, not 1, not 2. Number 3 in your white boy list.
Here we go. Happy to have you here.
And thank you for throwing me into the most complex and difficult topic first to lay things out for you guys. I appreciate that.
Well, no, that's not true. I let you get a pass on the Wayne topic.
You did, and you know my esteemed love for Wayne, so I appreciate that.
Exactly. And now here we are. So, facts.
Yeah, please.
Give us the facts, Jimmy.
Okay, so let's lay it out. Pause. October 3rd, 2024, public breakup. They break up via Instagram, but said that they would remain, quote, best friends.
Oh, that's always a lie.
Yeah.
A statement that didn't age incredibly well. They're going back and forth on social media, but then things heat up, of course. In March of 2025, DDG expresses that he's unable to see his son and that she's keeping Halo from him. Then Halle Bailey granted restraining order. This is May 13th, 2025. She obtained a temporary restraining order against DDG alleging physical, emotional, and financial abuse, including an incident where she talked about and showed pictures of a chipped tooth and physical harm on her arms. So that was said to be a dispute in the car over, their son was in the car. She showed pictures. She obtained a restraining order. May 2025, custody and visitation. Bailey was granted temporary physical and legal custody of Halo. She proposed supervised weekly visits for DDG. I think it was like a few hours a week, and requested restrictions on him taking Halo outside of LA County. Now, at the same time, she's going to film a movie in Italy, and she basically wants to take Halo for months at a time to Italy. So that's what she's proposing. She's going to be in sole custody. Then DDG was silent about it. He was on Streamer University with Kai. We're not really sure how he feels. June 4th and 5th, 2025, DDG filed a restraining order against Bailey, alleging that she actually posed a psychological risk to Halo. He basically said she was unstable, she was unable to take care of a child. She talked about, and then he provided text messages where it showcased her threatening her life, threatening suicide, threatening that her son wasn't going to be around to see things. It was all kind of manic, and in those texts, she also accused DDG of sleeping with someone in Mexico.
Lala.
With Lala, yes, a fellow streamer.
Definitely hitting Lala. The fuck she going? In Mexico?
Yeah.
Straight off my Streamer University hype.
And you've been kind of
you've been distant.
You've been distant.
You've been distant at worst. I mean, at best. Listen, gotta fuck Lala. Anyway.
So Lala actually did she confirmed in her words that it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
She
That's what
held it
she
down.
said.
Oh, she held it
down.
She held it down.
And that's where we're at right
they
now.
still fucking.
Oh yeah.
Would you say that?
Want to fuck again?
Oh, they're gonna fuck again.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, we can't say that.
But yeah, so that's where we're at right now, and he wants to prevent her from traveling out the country with Halo.
Okay, the nature of the text messages that DDG released were very disturbing,
They were.
and there was a lot of talk around the cause of those texts being sent. Was this postpartum, or was this a psycho girl?
Are there dates on the text?
Let me find him.
March of 2024.
Okay.
Now, do we have enough facts to get into our feelings about this?
I think that's a pretty good outline, right?
Pretty good.
That's a pretty good outline.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah. Thank you.
And feel free to stay for this in case you want to chime in on this tough
All
topic.
right, okay, I'm here.
All right.
Flip, go to the kitchen on this tough topic. Yo, this topic right here, Flip, go ahead, get out of here, man. Don't worry about this.
No, it's Flip goes there.
Oh man.
I have no idea what anybody's take is regarding this, so I'd love to hear it. I know Mel, you get-
I feel like the only reason why we know any of this is because he is constantly online talking about it, and after the breakup being completely disparaging of her, making his claims, et cetera, et cetera. Also, when he went on, when he started talking about the fact that she was, preventing him from seeing Halo, he did this on his streaming platform with his millions of viewers, creating like a hashtag free Halo. What does that do? That encourages your audience to go to her and start bullying her without any of the facts other than the ones that you just presented, which are up for fucking debate. Whoever's right, whoever's wrong, it really is. It's gotten so fucking messy, nobody even knows. But my stance is he comes off as being so fucking wildly stressful to deal with after you've just had a baby. I'm standing 10 toes down on Halle's side. I don't even have to have all the facts. The fact of the matter is she had a baby.
That's
she has
on
a
brand.
no,
Shocker.
Yeah, plot twist with this.
it's because that's just
I don't
how
think
I
you're
feel.
wrong, by the way.
I
Some
think
of your reasoning, maybe. It all seems like messy shit to me.
it is very messy shit, but at the end of the day, you have a young girl who's trying to manage a career, manage a relationship, have a baby, and then, there's debates on how long postpartum actually lasts, but it ain't 6 to fucking 8 weeks. It's a really long time for women to start feeling any semblance of fucking normalcy. And she's in the public eye. She has a baby daddy who's going to the fucking world to get a sense of validation or to get them to agree with him. Like, that is wildly stressful. So maybe she did have a manic, episode where she's saying a bunch of fucked up things in text. Why is she being judged on her worst moments when she is in the most vulnerable fucking state? And that is why I'm going to be on her side. And also, he wants to file a restraining order. Child, she filed one first. It was granted. She don't want to be around you. This is the same motherfucker that went to her house, keeps going to her house unannounced, breaks into her house, takes a picture of her bed to let her know that he is inside your house and can get in your house whenever you want, and then rips out the camera systems? How fucking safe does this girl feel?
There's
Allegedly. Allegedly.
One thing, his order was, what he filed was so that she can't take the baby to Italy for that time. Yeah, like not trying to be around her or keep her away from him. It's just, I don't want you to take my son. That's what he was filing.
There's a lot of situations, Mel, when you don't take the text message serious, that something end up happening to the child. We've seen that a lot of times, whether it's when it comes to domestic issues.
And they say, the signs were right there.
The signs were right there. So him filing this restraining order based off of the text message that she's been sending him is a right move for him to do.
I'd like to challenge a few of the things that you said.
Okay.
Okay. Who, Mel?
Yeah. In terms of weaponizing a fan base to bully you.
They're both doing that.
They both are doing that.
I don't see how she's done it.
Now we let you get a runway to get all of your shit off. Let's have the conversation without us triggering one another. Because I'm not trying to trigger nobody, and please don't trigger me. And this topic could be triggering.
It's very triggering.
I done been through every aspect of this. The second that she left him, fan bases were weaponized. Because you had the Disney girl, the Beyonce girl, the clean sister act girl's fan base saying, yo dog, you lucked up, she should have never been with you, you's a bum, you clout chasing, every chance you get, you mentioning a baby, you mentioning her, she don't want you. That was a thing. That was a real thing. I'm saying this as somebody.
Fam, it went on up here. We got into an argument about DDG.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He's right.
We did. We got into an argument about DDG. You took Chloe's side. I mean, you took Haley's side. We took DDG's side. We got into an argument about DDG. So it's not like he was the person that was throwing out the bully shit and she was just on the receiving end of that.
Yeah,
that's not true. Both of their fan bases were weaponized.
She did not weaponize hers. She couldn't. Just let me say this one thing. Just one thing, and then y'all got it.
Hijack the topic.
No. Holy shit.
You're gonna hijack
How
that
many
topic.
times they hijacked, dog piled on me? One time. I just want to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
She did not weaponize her fan base. And furthermore, everybody's saying that he's a clown, stay away from him, blah, blah. She didn't listen. She followed her own heart. That was the man she wanted. She chose. She had a baby with him. She did not listen to anybody. So she did not weaponize her fan base. They made their own assumptions.
Mel,
he went on streaming.
Mel, now you off the tangent. Can you not respond to each point that we're about to make the same way we did with you? That's all I'm asking.
Right.
I have more of your points that I'd like to challenge.
Even with that weaponization point, the artists sometimes don't have to say,
go do it.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
If nothing else, we've proven that both of them played part in the weaponization of fan bases. 1. 2, in terms of things being made public and why they are made public, they're playing courthouse games.
True indeed.
Courthouse games is not only where things become public, but it's where both parties go to say the worst of the worst about the other. So unfortunately, these stories, the break-in stories, they're public because they're court filings. 3, she played her hand in some of this being public when she vehemently was against the kid going to Constant's house.
And put that out.
And she put it out. So all I'm saying is, at the start, you have 2 young people that are engaging in the messiness of a breakup after a baby.
That's fair.
Like my thing, and I'm not on anybody's side. Again, I think the child is the real recipient of the negativity. But I don't understand, to Joe's point, how you could say, yo, I don't want my kid around Kasana or on a stream or anything of that sort, but you are electing to take my kid across to a whole different country outside of me.
I thought
I think that's very, very different.
I think that's different personally. A lot of shit goes on on these streams. It'd be girls. It'd be a lot of shit going on the streams. Her taking a kid with her to work in another, just happens to be in another country. You don't know, you can have a nanny, you got whatever over there with you. I'm not subjecting the kid to anything necessarily.
Supposedly.
You don't know that.
Wait.
That's supposedly.
Wait. You can't do that without my consent.
No,
I don't give a fuck if you got a nanny and you got the best condition. You cannot do that without my consent. We know that as dads.
What I don't like to do is this.
Depending on how.
But isn't that what the restraining order says?
That's not necessarily depending on what's set up.
The restraining order basically says she has sole custody.
If she got
so
sole,
if she wants to make that decision, she can do that.
That is incorrect.
That's not true.
That is incorrect.
I don't know that to be true.
That is incorrect. You are wrong.
Does she have? I don't know what they.
You cannot do whatever you want just because you have sole custody. That's incorrect. I've been through it.
I know that y'all want to fucking. It's the erasure of father rights around here. But you cannot take this baby. No, you can't.
It's not true. And my thing is this, and I hate that this point gets overlooked. Fam, you had enough discernment to lay down and have a baby with this man, right? Yes. We are electing this man to be the father of your child.
Can I pause you right there for a second and add to what you're saying? Maybe messy, but it is being spoken about. He convinced her to have the baby. She said, I'm having an abortion. No, that's part of listen, there's another side to this that paints her as being emotionally manipulative, and I think that is what he filed in his court filings. And I'm not even going to continue to speak to that. I can speak to how a dad moved when he wanted the kid.
Yes.
That's what I can speak to.
Is there proof of her making that statement?
No, it's not proof of some of the stuff that you allege neither. But we talking about this.
Well, I think that
we'll talk to our fact checker, Jeremy.
Yeah, well,
but, fam, what I'm saying is
please
this, a different
fact check that. If there's any proof, written proof that she said she was going to have an abortion and he convinced her to have the baby. Because if not, then that is just his word against hers, and that's nasty.
You know what there is written proof of?
We can't do that though. We can't do that. You can't say it's written proof of this, but we don't have written proof of that, and the things that we don't have written proof of.
No, I'm just talking about text messages since you wanted to put them out.
You didn't bring up written proof
when he broke in the house and yada yada.
We don't have written proof.
We don't have proof of these things.
He took a picture of her bed.
So he could have took that picture 9 years ago.
He let her know that I'm in your house. I could take a picture of I'm taking a picture of your bed.
You're getting that from a police report, Mel, is what we're saying. But anyway, so what Jeremy, let us know when you have facts.
It doesn't seem like there's any public record of her saying that. DDG said in an interview, we weren't aiming for a baby. It kind of happened. What are we going to do? He said, she always wanted to be a mom and I always wanted a kid. So from there, we just made a decision to go through it. I don't know if there's any public record of her saying that.
Bro, the point I was making is something different. The point I was making is, the second that we elect to have a child, right? Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, it was agreed upon mutually.
I'm sure it was.
You now can't, when we break up, say, yo, that bitch is a bum mom. I ain't never want to have a baby with her. I don't want her to be alone with my kid. You elected to have a child with this woman. So that speaks to your judgment and your own discernment that you thought in that moment she would have been a decent mom, and vice versa. So if you have...
Somebody can't be wrong, though.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, but in the moment, you can have the confidence that this man is going to be a good dad. So you are thinking that he's going to have your child's best interest at heart when he has your child, and vice versa on the woman's side.
Young people don't think that like that. Young people don't give it that much thought. That's too many words and too many thoughts. No, you're in the moment. You like each other. You can both want to have a baby. You can decide to want to have a baby, but they're not thinking about, I think he'll be the best father, or I think she'll be the best mother.
And they don't know what having a baby means. Like, they don't know all the shit that changed. Like, the person that you with right now ain't gonna be the same person
I think it's whack when a dude be like, yo, dog, she had my baby over here. I don't want my baby over there, depending on if it's a harmful situation or not, of course. But, yo, I don't want my baby around these people. My nigga, that's not your choice to make. And then vice versa on the woman's side, yo, I don't want my baby around her sister. Or if they not putting your kid in harm's way, my nigga, that's not your choice to make. You laid down and had a baby with this woman, and you have to trust that the man and the woman are going to do appropriate things with your child in mind.
The only thing I'm familiar with when it comes to consent from both parents is when you're trying to take a child to get a passport.
Out of the country.
If the man's name is on the birth certificate, you cannot go and take the child to get a passport without the man's
signature. You can't take the child out the country either. The child has to sign to take. The parent has to sign for you to take them out the country.
And not to interrupt, but just to clarify, in the court filing that DDG made, it does say, so petitioner threatened me by demanding that we reconcile, or she would go through with the abortion. This was the most troubling of her attempts to coercively control me. So DDG is claiming that she did that.
Again, it's a claim.
It's a claim.
Yeah, just a claim.
These text messages that he released, the disturbing ones, if you believe that these are texts and not doctored and really happened, they say a lot. I mean, they do tell a story.
They do.
Should I read them?
Sure.
The trust, this is a blurry version, I'll try my best. The trust issues are becoming overwhelming. Maybe that's for the best. I put in too much time and effort into making you happy to have to deal with the bullshit every day. And in your eyes, you're never wrong. It's frustrating, and I'm over it. I'm no longer entertaining this argument. I need to work on becoming more successful, like, quote unquote, Jay-Z, like you said. Then maybe you'll take my vision of becoming a big label owner serious instead of shitting on my dreams every second you get. She says, you don't want to be with me, that's okay. I will never beg anyone. I will be successful. I don't need to be with someone who is going to demean me. You like that I'm insecure. It makes you feel good about yourself. I'm not doing this anymore. Keep your phone on airplane mode. but when I die, don't say shit. See,
This is a lot of TMI. This is two young people
being super manipulative to each other because their fucking feelings are involved and shit like that. Like they're fucking nasty to each other. But who in this room doesn't know what that experience is like when it gets when you're at that point where you're mad at each other or where you think that the break is happening and one person is playing super fucking nonchalant, usually the guy, and the girl is like, you know, just spazzing out and shit like that. That's all I hear from those text messages.
It sounds like both of them are doing both things.
Yeah.
Sounds like both of them are playing nonchalant. Both of them are being nasty to each other.
I don't hear both of them not playing nonchalant.
Parks and Mel, enough of y'all two now.
But not enough, but
enough for you two.
I don't hear her playing nonchalant at all.
This is what I'm saying. Not enough of you. What I'm saying is this, and again, speaking from a little bit of experience, I don't know if you brothers have any experience here. And if y'all do, I don't know why y'all talking it right now.
No, I want to hear your point. We about to make one.
This is what I'm saying. In the beef where two people are wrong and playing a part, there's the person that's playing along in whatever the beef is, and then there's somebody that's not playing at all. There's somebody that is so angry or so emotional and so narrow-minded that they are not looking at the bigger picture here. Once she says to him, I will die behind this, or whatever the fuck she said, even if it's from whatever it's from, as a parent, now you have taken this to another level, and I don't know if you are of enough health in mind, body, and spirit to take care of you and a child. And nobody talks about that part of postpartum. I'm not against y'all calling this behavior postpartum. Y'all got all types of words. Postpartum, Stockholm.
Let me ask.
But postpartum there's nothing to deny about postpartum. Postpartum is what happens after you have a baby. There's postpartum depression, there's postpartum psychosis, there is postpartum, and there is like her hormone, like it's stressful enough to have had a child. But when you enter into a chaotic, erratic, situation with the person that is supposed to be loving on you and the kid and creating a stress.
Can you care for a child with postpartum, Mel? I don't need the word to.
You can care for a child, but you got to do everything that you possibly can to create as stress-free an environment as possible. And it doesn't seem like this is what's happening.
In caring for the child, should you text anybody and say, I'm going to kill myself?
And if you do, how do you think that person should respond? That's my question. Yes, in seeing that tweet, if I ever got that tweet,
you've never had a girl say that to you.
We're talking about no. I'm talking about someone that I have a child with. Like my baby mother has never gotten to that. Had she did, my immediate number one thing is I got to go get my kid.
Okay.
Whether you're serious or not, I can't play with it.
And I totally understand that. But if we're going to be talking about you, to me, I don't know what happened between you and your baby mama, if it was contentious or whatever. But you seem to be an extraordinarily even-keeled, logical person. You know, so I don't know, but I don't really see you antagonizing your baby mama, especially after the kid has been born. I just don't see that happening with you. That is what I see. I don't matter in this situation, but this is how I am reading the situation. He is incredibly antagonizing to a woman who has just had his child, and they're playing these nasty little fucking games with each other. But to me, she doesn't really want to play these games. He releases the text messages just to get everybody on. He's playing that game of trying to get everybody on his side. I'm doing this because
I'm trying to get the courts to understand what I'm dealing with.
Okay,
let me ask you a question.
When were the text messages written versus when were they released? Because if there is a huge gap
dropped the
between
text messages, from what the dates I looked at was March 2024.
March 2024. Yeah.
Well, the text messages came out a couple days ago when he filed to keep her from leaving
in defense after she released.
Can
I ask you a question? Does anybody know how old their child is?
He's one at the most.
Yeah,
cool.
Almost two.
So I want to stay here. I don't want to fight you. I'm putting it out on the record that I don't want to fight.
With the facts, Jeremy. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
So think about this. Postpartum can last for a certain amount of time, right? So you are clear in saying that postpartum is a real thing, where you may or may not be in control of your hormones, your emotional state, your mental state, etc. Yes?
In certain instances, yes.
You think it's a lie, though?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not.
So no, we're not going to give an answer. So to everybody in the room, we've heard
postpartum means yes, that
Okay.
you don't have control.
Thank you.
Because nobody has control over their hormones. You can't control them.
I'm asking.
You're right.
Now I'm asking.
You're right. She can't control hormones.
So if you are a dad and postpartum can last for the better part of a year, postpartum can last, they said, multiple years.
Yes.
So if this person is saying that I'm thinking about killing myself, i.e. my child, whatever the case may be, then I don't give a fuck when the text messages came out. If you're saying that the child is less than a year old or a year old, those text messages are still valid, because she could still be under emotional, hormonal, and mental distress right now.
See, my only issue with that, and I'm inserting myself here, Paul. If I were to get that message, I'm not waiting.
Thank
from
you.
March
Not
to
disagreeing with
a
you.
year or so later.
That's not my point. My point is those text messages still remain valid today if her emotional and mental state are still compromised today.
Yeah, but if you really felt that way, why are you waiting a year to go act on that?
I don't know what he did. We moving that. I'm talking about today.
You know, if I'm him and she wrote me that text message, you know what I'm doing right in that moment? I am calling whatever authority that I need to, and I'm going to try my hardest to get a psychological.
Mel, this is where I have to interrupt you.
Okay, go ahead.
I have to interrupt you with respect. You can't say that. You don't. You have no idea what you would do. When this topic came up with me and my girl, and we were talking about the text, I said, I wasn't all the way serious. If I see that text, I'm calling the police. I said that same thing that you just said. Yeah. She reminded me I'd been through this. And I didn't call the cops. I didn't call the police at all. I went outside while we were on her birthday dinner and did my best to talk to, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just say, I'm going to call the police.
All this theoretical
we can't gauge the seriousness of somebody when they texted is all I'm saying.
They weren't even broken up yet. And that's my point. And of course, we are totally armchair quarterbacking this situation. We're just opining on their fucking business because it's everywhere. But to your point, you're right. You don't know what you're going to do in this situation. You can think in hindsight and say, I would be comfortable having a psychological evaluation done on her because I'm concerned for my child. You would think that that's what somebody would think, but if they don't in the moment, then that's understandable too. It's also understandable to think that she's just being hysterical in the moment, saying something to try to get a rise out of you because nothing else has worked.
But let me tell you,
all of this is potentially true.
As a man, there are a lot of steps and hurdles that you have to get to before you convince a judge or a court that a psych eval is needed for your child's mother. It's not just as simple as you going in there and requesting one.
I feel like
niggas go in court all the time and say, hey, this lady.
But you know what they don't? You know what they don't? Like, they don't have a whole list of text messages showing potentially
like erratic behavior. Yeah.
You just going in off word of mouth. And yes, you got to prove a lot of that.
I feel like it's dangerous to, when you talk about postpartum, it's dangerous to point the blame at the other person instead of finding solutions of how to deal with postpartum. When Mel is telling the story, or Freeze, even you're saying that the environment has to be like this and be like that, but there's really limited to no solution in dealing with somebody with postpartum. And I feel like it's very reckless to just, put the blame on the person that's in that position. As far as like creating an environment, a safe environment.
You mean the man or the woman?
Putting it on the man.
Okay.
Because there's no solution. What Mel is saying, or what Mel said is, I see him antagonizing somebody who's dealing with postpartum. Maybe he doesn't know how to deal with a person who's going through postpartum. Mm-hmm. I watched this man online say how much, please leave her alone. We're not going there. I'm not talking about her. I still love her. This and that and the third. I try to keep my distance, whatever she says, because I don't know what she's dealing with at this current moment, especially young people. They don't know how to deal with that.
And their kids.
So to say that and like, he's creating an environment like that, what about the person with postpartum creating the environment as well. How do we deal with that? How does the person dealing with the person that's going through postpartum navigate in that system?
Hey, let me tell you, I'm gonna use myself. There was a time when I thought my baby mother was suffering from postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I spoke about this back when we was
We did.
And I went to her and said, hey, I know I'm not equipped to deal with this. I don't even know fully what it is. Do you think we could talk to somebody? I'll pay for it, whatever the case. Let's find somebody.
I
Let's
think that's
try
amazing.
because I ain't the right person. I know that. Whatever I could say is probably going to be wrong, might make it worse, but I see there is something happening here. She told me no, she wasn't. And we let it continued to get worse to the point that's when
She wasn't what?
Yo, how old are you?
She wasn't somebody.
I was just about to say while you was
talking.
talking, I thought you would end differently, but I'm like, damn, that's the blessing. I went through that, and the person I was speaking to had no idea that was postpartum. It was her first kid. She didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm coming to
Nobody
you saying,
knows.
hey, is this that? Because they warned us about it in the hospital.
Yep.
Is there a way to
Yep.
help? And if you say no, now we just back to dealing with whatever comes with.
Exactly.
Or if you're a man and they say no, you sitting there like, oh, all right.
Can I suggest?
niggas are having
can I,
children
can,
that
And then the side don't have postpartum.
Y'all
too.
late 30s. Y'all niggas having children. Y'all having children in y'all late 30s. So y'all know how to deal with it. Y'all more knowledgeable than somebody in their early 20s.
Much more tolerant, much more patient. You're right.
Can I also suggest something? That because she said no, and because yours said no, there is a lot of women when they become mothers, even before they become mothers, when they're pregnant, there's this pressure to become super mom and know everything immediately. And I'm speaking from the standpoint of I've never had a child. I lost one, so I never had one. But I have a lot of friends that I was there for when their children were born, and I was very supportive because they just didn't know what they were doing. You know, they feel like they're expected to know everything, but you don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know until you fucking know it. And a lot of times that added pressure and a lack of understanding that you are physically in postpartum, not knowing because you've never had it before, you've never experienced it. You just know you feel whatever you feel. I feel like it's difficult to identify that that's what you're going through in the moment that you're going through if you've never experienced it before. And that's all I'm going to say in this scenario.
That is an amazing point.
I agree with her.
For women and men.
And men.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I'm not,
mute it up. Just mute it up.
I was going to agree with you.
But let me finish. Let me land my plane.
Sorry.
So I agree. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And guess what? In the household with the postpartum woman and the man, he gonna be second to know it.
No, time out though. Because Mel said, yo, the women think that they supposed to be super mom.
Might not be, Joe.
Niggas think they supposed to be super dad too.
That is a fact.
You've just taken on a whole new individual that is responsible for breathing because of you.
That is a fact.
You got to make sure that they're healthy. You got to make sure that they're fed. You got to make sure that they're clothed. You got to also provide kids ain't cheap. So now you bring on whole new experiences, whole new expenses. Like it's a different ballgame. It's just not a ballgame. And please don't take this. It ain't just a ballgame that women are playing. The men are entered into that game as well, and that piece gets pushed to the side.
And Ish, to add on,
my nigga, when my daughter woke up, I took the night shift. I'm self-employed. When my girl works, my nigga, when my daughter woke up at nighttime at 3 and 2 and whatever, I'm the nigga that sat in the rocking chair rocking my daughter back to sleep. Men get just pushed to the side for that shit, nigga. I'm the nigga that's going downstairs doing all the other shit when my girl is asleep.
What you called the Mexicans and told them no about the business?
Nothing, nigga. You gotta, no, he's right, my nigga. That modifies your business. That all of that shit took place. Like, yo, people just look at it like it's a one-sided thing. It's not.
And look, to what you were saying, as a man, you ain't just looking at, you got to make sure the baby's good. You got to make sure she good too.
Nigga, my girl could barely walk. She had a C-section. My girl.
And I say, the man talk
Could barely walk. I had to walk her, pick her up off the toilet, walk her to the bed from the fucking toilet, my nigga. All of those things, making sure I sleep hard, kinda. Yo, I gotta wake up on a schedule to make sure my girl is taking her antibiotics and her pain pills, all of that shit on different schedules and all of that stuff. It's a joint effort, fam. I hate when we sit up here and act like it's just a woman thing. It's not just a woman thing, even though they are going through mad shit that we couldn't possibly fathom. Men are going through other shit, and we just discredit that piece. So to them, I hate that this is public.
Because they push somebody out of this shit.
Of course.
So, I mean,
no, nigga.
We're not saying it's equal.
It's not even remotely equal. No, it's not even remotely equal. I'm just saying that both of these people are ignorant and not knowledgeable about what is going on and what's to come.
I want to add on to what y'all saying too. Not saying this applies here, but them chicks with the angel images. I know ain't nobody gonna talk about it. I know ain't nobody gonna talk about it.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about it though.
Yeah, have at it. Hey, Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden podcast. Prize picks.
No, featuring Ice and Ish and Flippin' Mel and Parks.
What you talking about?
Dr. Mark Lamont, Jeremy Heck. The women with the angel images are able to get off a lot under the guise of I have an angel image, and I imagine it to be frustrating for a man. I'm not even just talking about them. They're young, so we're going to apply the young card. But there are a lot of people out there hiding behind just this image of perfection, and behind the scenes, they are an absolute demon and fucking monster, and nobody believes the guy because this girl done been in a fucking movie or two. And I could say that a million times. I thought it about Keke Palmer and her baby daddy, with what they went through. I could name you 6 different couples to where the lady is an angel, so nah, no way she did that.
Yep.
Kick fucking rocks, man.
Nigga, do you know what Johnny Depp went through?
I didn't look at that case, but yeah.
Similar shit. Like until he started,
he had to prove.
He had to prove like, yo, no dog, she shitted in my bed.
I wasn't familiar with Amber.
They didn't believe. Nobody was, but she had an image of a certain level of innocence or purity or coolness that he had to now start going to get voicemails and recordings that she didn't know when he was recording her, saying, "You pussy, I only smacked you, you pussy. You're a man, eat it, blah, 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 blah." Like he had to have audio recordings of the shit that was transpiring before he was even taken seriously.
Yeah, I just think it's whack. I think that shit is whack. That's it. I don't have a deeper dive on it, but there's a lot of it going on out there. I'll be without class and coof to continue to give you the names on this list, so I won't. But anyway.
I just wish it wasn't all public. Like that's the worst part.
That's the main shit.
We're seeing every inch of this play out in public, and it was clearly a lot of like there was maybe postpartum depression, manic, there was maybe like there's all these things going on, but we had to see all of that play out versus them just working it out in private, which again, I'm not in the public eye like that. I don't have a child, so I can't speak to that, but
throwing some of that on the way. It'd be the women rushing to the courthouse. It'd be the women rushing to the courthouse to get help because the dude is not doing something that they want or not behaving accordingly. Men, I'll speak for black men, a lot of them ain't rushing to go start the courthouse process. That ain't happening. Some more shit that's taboo that we can't say.
You're right.
It'd be their ass going up there. Shit. In my case, I said it. Yo, this is about to go public. We should, let's do our best. It never works like that. So, I mean, we just sit there and I feel like calling Ben Staples. It's public. It's public. Where the fuck did you think it was going?
But that's
you ain't important enough for them to seal nothing. You didn't pay for no fucking mediator. You went to court.
And unfortunately, the emotional part and the young part, they don't even think that far. They don't think about
the age come into that part.
I know, but I'm supposed to think the person that all right, we could do age. Age plays a part. But the person that can't. I received that. The person that don't think that far is also the best person to look after a child.
Pretty good.
That ain't no Crisco there.
That ain't
This topic hits home for me.
That's lard.
Home.
The topic hits home for me. It does. It does.
Boy cooking lard.
That boy, that's a fatback in that motherfucker. I ain't even going to Popeyes. I'm over here.